The government shutdown is forcing governors to scramble to provide some of the services their residents typically receive from the federal government. In an exclusive interview this afternoon with NBC News, Illinois Governor JB Pritzker outlined the measures he is taking to help keep residents who rely on SNAP food benefits. And after the federal government has not been able to work that out, he said he would look for ways to use contingency funds to partially pay those benefits.
The $20 million that you set aside to help fund food banks statewide, do you know what happens with that now that it's half funded? Does that get added to the pot, so to speak? Or what can Illinoisans know, those who receive these benefits, about how much will be there for them this month?
SNAP is a 100% federally funded program. And so we're talking $90 million a week for Illinois is what normally would be provided for SNAP.
You, how big of a Band-Aid is that?
$20 million isn't enough. It just isn't. And we don't have enough money. $360 million in a month. We don't have an extra $360 million. We're going to do everything that we can, though. And remember, the distribution points are very important, and those are the pantries. And they do such great work already. So what we're going to try to do is fund them to make sure that they've got enough money to provide mostly dry goods. They won't be able to do the slightly more expensive fresh goods that they often are distributing. But at least we're going to keep people fed for as long as we possibly can. And look, if we run out, we'll have to obviously come back and figure out where we're going to find more money to support, because we can't let people starve. I mean, we have too many people in this state. 1.9 million people are getting SNAP benefits in a state of 13 million people. And we can't let them starve.
And NBC's Maggie Vespa joins me now. I know you just stepped away from that interview, and our viewers certainly know that Governor Pritzker has been one of the president's most outspoken critics, and certainly a very prominent Democratic voice doing that. Does he believe that Republicans in general will pay a price for the president's policies? Is that what he's arguing to you in your conversation?
Kelly, he actually does, and for a couple of reasons. Number one are some of the numbers that we talked about, that Steve just talked about in our new NBC News poll, that show more Americans blame Republicans in Congress and blame President Trump for the ongoing government shutdown than blame Democrats. It's 52% according to our poll to 42%. So that's reason number one. Reason number two are conversations like he's having at the event that you saw here today. You saw a video of it earlier. We are at the Mother's Milk Bank of the Western Great Lakes, just outside Chicago. They got a state grant earlier this year, and that's why the governor was here today, just basically talking to recipients of that grant about the work they're doing here. And he says that more and more events like this, particularly in rural, and as he put it, ruby red parts of Illinois, he's having conversations with people who tell him, he says, that they voted for President Trump. They voted for Republicans in 2024, and that vote isn't yielding the results they thought it would. Here's more of our exclusive interview to that point. Take a listen.
It isn't that those people are standing up and saying, I made a big mistake. Nobody wants to say that, of course. But they are saying to themselves, what are they doing in Washington? The Republicans are in charge, and I voted for them. What are they doing? And wondering how this is going to change. And when we say back to them, well, the Republicans have to make the decision to finally remove the tariffs so you can sell your soybeans, for example, or that they need to restore health care so that you finally will have back the health care that your family deserves. I think people are listening to that and thinking they're going to vote differently this time than they did last time.
You're having those real-life conversations with people.
Real-life conversations. People are understanding who is in charge in Washington that is now burdening them, and it's the very people that they voted for.
And the governor went on to tell me, Kelly, that he expects the issue of these SNAP benefits almost lapsing and now being half funded for the next month will really resonate in those areas, because rural parts of the state have great food insecurity. They don't have a lot of food banks to kind of bridge that gap while this goes on. So he expects to have more, he told me, conversations just like that.
Maggie, thank you so much for bringing us your interview and the work I know it took to get that to happen today. So thanks very much for bringing us the latest.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.